The reason a lot of people don't flip properties, like people in corporate roles, employees that are in like a high tax bracket, they always say like, oh, I really want to flip a property, but I'm in such a high tax bracket, I get hit with capital gains tax. Listen, you only
Time.
pay capital gains tax on realized profits in your personal name. If you flip a property in a limited company, capital gains tax doesn't exist. And this is where the clever get in the comments
Doesn't
like, yeah,
everyone know
capital
this?
gains tax doesn't exist, but the corporation tax. Yes, but you can offset things
Mitigation.
against your corporation tax. So whether that's a company car, clothes, meals, marketing expenses, more maintenance on more properties, like that can be offset. So you don't have to pay corporation tax. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Capital gains tax, you can't offset against anything. So there are pros to flipping in a limited company versus your personal name, and that is a major one.
See, I thought everybody knew this, but super powerful, very valuable share. And for those of you who don't know, now you know from here. All right. But super powerful principle. And I don't know if that's why most people don't flip properties who work in higher rate tax bands. My personal take is that most people who are living or working out of higher corporate tax bands, the reason they actually don't flip property is because they're unaware of the value that they can extrapolate from property. And mostly that's just because people don't understand that there's only three types of money you can make in property. And I usually illustrate this with a diagram, simple diagram of a triangle. And I explain that there's only three types of money you can make in property. Now, I didn't say there's only three ways you can make money in property, because if I said that, I'd be making a mistake. I created this training a number of years ago, 30 ways in 30 days, to show people there's way more than 30 ways that you can make money in property. So there's not three ways you can make money in property, but there are only three types of money you can make in property. Now, just to break all of them down right now, the first one is known as equity, right? Now, I define equity as money stuck in bricks. And a simple example is in 2017, I purchased a property that was valued at £240,000 by a RICS surveyor. And a few months after that valuation, my wife and I were able to purchase that property for £136,000. So that's a difference of £104,000 instantly generated, instantly made the moment we signed the papers and the page. Now, why is that valuable? That's valuable because it's £100,000, but that £100,000, you can't go into Aston Martin and buy a brand new DB9. You can't go into Waitrose and buy anything that's fine. Why? Because that's equity, and ultimately we call equity money stuck in bricks. So that's one out of the three types of money you can make in property. Now, the second of the three ways you can make money, or the three types of money, you can make in property, is known as profits. And in good old Jim Rohn fashion, he often says profits are better than wages. But in the words of Samuel ICanWin, profits are better than wages only when they come in the right stages. Now, what do you mean, Samuel? Well, I'll give you a quick example. If you buy a house, and let's say this house is a 3-bedroom house which comes with a garage, right? And typically whenever I draw a property as an illustration, the number of windows symbolizes the number of bedrooms, just so that you're with me, right? So let's say this property has 3 bedrooms and a garage, and we purchased this property for £100,000. And we realized that in that area, 4-bedroom properties at the lowest go for £150,000. But what we can do is we can say, hold on, let's invest a further £20,000 and let's convert the garage into a bedroom. Okay. So after converting the garage into a bedroom, we now have a 4-bedroom house. Now with this 4-bedroom house, what we can do is we can say, well, hold on a minute, because we've got a 4-bedroom house, although we've invested 120,000, we know in this area they will sell for 150,000 because it's now a 4-bedroom all day long. Now, if we do the maths and we decide to sell the house, 150,000 we get minus 120,000 we put in, and we walk away with £30,000 pre-tax profit. Now, the issue with this, right? The great thing about this is £30,000. The issue with this is you will never, ever, ever make another pound from that property again. And the reason you'll never, ever, ever make another pound from that property again is because you sold it. You've liquidated it. So yes, you've walked away with a profit, which the creator is talking about in the video, which is absolutely astronomically amazing. But if you, for example, have a £60,000 a year salary, then you have to do 2 of those deals every single year for the rest of your life in order to make things right. The problem with that is most people don't want to live a life of strife. So there's another type of money, which is even more interesting to me, that also works through this analogy. And that third type of money is cash flow. Now, I define cash flow as the residual recurring revenue that you and I have at our disposal. It's literally the money that keeps on coming. And because cash flow comes in the form of rental payments, it comes on a month to month basis. I often ask people a question, and that simple question, I'll ask you, that simple question is, out of these three, cash flow, profits, equity, the only 3 types of money you can make in property, which of these is the best to replace an income? Okay. And the reality is most people, that's their endeavor. Most people are attempting to replace their income, whether it be for retirement, whether it be for any other reason. And most people take a think about this and say, hey, Samuel, you know what? It's true. If I do profits, I have to do the deals again and again and again, because every time I sell them, I can't make any more money from them. If I do equity, then like you said, Samuel, my money's stuck in bricks. But if I focus on cash flow, then the residual recurring revenue can continue to flow. And this is the reason why I first and foremost believe most people don't focus on profit projects as it pertains to property, because they just don't know that there's only 3 types of money you can make in property. And one of the big things I've been adamant about doing, saying and sharing with my community from when I first got serious about property, all the way back when I was 19 years old working as an estate agent, is that once you discover there's only 3 types of money you can make in property, your best advantage is to focus on any one. Now, in some people's case, they're going to say, oh, Samuel, you say we should focus on cash flow. Well, I don't really say you should focus on cash flow. I invest a lot of my time with my clients, my friends, my family, showing them how to focus on cash flow. But I don't mind which one you focus on as long as you practice focusing on just one. Because unfortunately, we live in a day and age where through means of legacy media, multimedia, mainstream media, and social media, everybody's telling you that you can do all 3. They're telling you, go out there and get a house with a £50,000 deposit when you buy it. And at the same time, make sure there's a £50,000 discount on the property because you're going to buy below market value. And when you buy it below market value, make sure that it makes you £1,000 every single month, and make sure that you do it up in a way that when you sell it, you'll also get paid an extra £100,000 because of how much value you've added. This is the problem. The problem is we're living in a day and age where people are selling us on attempting to achieve all 3, and everybody knows that the maximum value is always extrapolated from an endeavor when we are focused. So now that you know that there's only 3 types of money that you can make in property, whether it be cash flow, equity, or profits, my admonition to you is just focus on one. Because the moment you decide to focus on one, that's the moment that that one can actually materialize and begin to come. And I think this is one of the biggest issues we actually have in the property field. So yeah, I agree. Maybe the big issue for many people who have high tax paying corporate jobs is that they didn't realize you can mitigate tax payments on profits that is generated or that are generated. But I think a deeper reality is just the fact that most people don't understand there's only 3 types of money you can make in property. Yes, there's hundreds of strategies. Yes, there's hundreds of ways to make money in property, but every single one of those ways ultimately only boil down to those 3 types of money that you're making in the property. And the moment you get a clearer picture on that, guess what? Everything starts working for you, because you start realizing instead of focusing on 3 or instead of focusing on 2, I can focus on the 1, and that 1 can start to do what it's supposed to do. I don't know what your views are on this. If you're someone who's more experienced in property, you've been doing property investment for 21 years or so, let me know in the comments below. What have you been focused on? Did you know that there's only 3 types of money that can be made in property? And if you did, which one have you been focused on? Did you not know this and this has been a light bulb for you? If you've got value from this, hit the like button too. And side by side with that, if you haven't already, you know what to do. comment and subscribe so you can become a part of the tribe. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. As I usually say, please, 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 please remember that it's small keys like these that open up big doors. And I look forward to seeing you on another video. Possibly check out the description of this video. There'll be a whole bunch of goodies and other things to help you move further faster in your future. So with that being said, Sammy ICanWin signing out. See you on the next one. Good day. God bless. Let's go.
Small keys open big doors.